registered dietitian with LDF. So I'm super pumped that Lynn asked me to be a part of this. Like she said, I have been hearing about it for the last 2 years, so I'm super proud of her for actually doing it. That this is not a diet, so you're not on a diet, you're not depriving yourself of everything that you love and you enjoy, and it's not something that you're only doing for the next 12 weeks, but you're spending the next 12 weeks, the next 3 months developing a new lifestyle. So this is a new lifestyle, something that you're going to be able to sustain forever, so keep that in mind. So whatever healthy eating pattern or regime that you're going to develop should consist of something that you're able to do and that you still enjoy. So if you absolutely hate it, you're not going to stick to it. So it still has to be something that you do enjoy. And there's no diet that will do what healthy eating does. So diets work temporarily, so really they don't work. Because as soon as you go off the diet, you haven't learned anything, you go right back to your old eating habits. Sometimes you even go back to worse, you develop new worse habits because you felt deprived for the last however long you've been on this diet. So diets do not work, so don't do it, just don't do it. I'm not a fan. Get the word diet out of your vocabulary. Unless you're talking about what you're eating. So a diet should just be what you eat, okay? Just so you all know, most of you guys have signed up for your 30-minute meeting with me. So this is something that you're doing as a team. This is your opportunity to have any question you have, food-related, nutrition-related, any questions you have answered. So come prepared, pen and paper and questions in hand, and we can talk about whatever it is you want to know about. So if you want to know how to label read, we can talk about that. If you want to know about what to eat before, after, during workouts, we can talk about that. If you want to know anything, if you want to know about healthy fats, healthy carbs, if you want to know whatever you want to know, that's your opportunity to have me for 30 minutes to ask those questions. We'll also do a midpoint 30-minute meeting, so once you've sort of learned quite a bit in the last 6 weeks, you maybe see some things that have worked, some things that haven't worked, then we'll meet again, and that'll be same sort of thing, your opportunity to ask any questions you have. Also will be available by email and Facebook. And I'll probably post a few little random tips here and there on Facebook, on the Facebook page for you guys. But that is your chance to have any questions you have answered. Also, if you find it would be beneficial to know what your caloric requirements are, so how many calories you should be having in a day based on your age, gender, height, weight, activity level, then we can calculate that for you at the 30-minute session. Keep in mind, as you lose weight, those caloric requirements do change, which is why the midpoint meeting would be helpful as well, because we can recalculate that for you. If your activity levels change, so say you sign up for 5 days a week but you only really do 3, then again your caloric requirements do change. So not that I'm a huge promoter of being obsessive about counting your calories, because it can become this thing in your head, becoming really obsessed about it. It's still kind of good to know, so that if you look, well, this meal was 1,000 calories and I should only be taking in 1,500 a day, you know what percentage that is. So I can calculate that for you. So food is energy. So in order for you to do any workouts, you have to eat, as Lynn already mentioned. So think of your food as your energy. Basically, calories are just a measure of how much energy a specific food is going to give you. So food is energy, and what you eat before, during, and after a workout, should really be nothing during, but will really help fuel your workout, and you'll get the best results if you're eating well. So just so you know, there are 3 energy-yielding nutrients: carbs, protein, and fat. And of those, carbohydrates are the body's preferred source of fuel. So carbs have gotten kind of a bad reputation. You shouldn't eat any carbs. If you want to lose weight, cut out carbs. Carbs are bad, but your body does need carbs. Your muscle needs carbs in order to function and work properly and to get you through those workouts. So in terms of what you should eat to work out, you need to have some carbs. So when we have those 30-minute meetings, we can go into more specifics as to where you find carbs. But things like fruit, the healthy carbs, so you could eat that. Protein also does give you energy, but it's a much slower source of energy. And actually, protein has to be converted in the body into carbs to be used for energy. So it's a much slower source of energy. And protein you want to actually save to use to build up those muscles. So as you're going to be building your muscles and building up weights, you want to spare that protein so that your body can use it for that, rather than it being trying to convert to carbs to be able to use for energy. So don't rely solely on protein for your energy. And also fat, also a source of energy, but a very slow one. So if you have really high fat meal before you exercise, you're going to feel very sluggish and slow, just because it can take up to 4 hours for it to digest this in your body or in your stomach before it can be used for energy. So very slowly. Just a word on protein. So I know a lot of times as we start a new fitness regime, huge thing is protein. How much protein should I be having? So as I mentioned, you do need it to maintain and to build strength, to build the tissues that you're breaking down essentially when you're working out. Many different sources of protein, so things like meat, peanut butter, beans, lentils, eggs, tofu, nuts, milk and dairy products, they have protein in them. So you do need some protein. So make sure you consume within about a half hour after your workout, especially if it's a strength training workout. Within about a half hour to an hour, you should be taking in about 20 grams, 10 to 20 grams of protein, which looks like 10 grams would be a glass of milk, 20 grams would be 3 ounces of meat. So make sure you're having some protein after. Just a word on protein powders. Some people feel they need to use them if they're not big meat eaters or they have a hard time getting in protein through their food. It is, however, processed. So keep that in mind. It's a processed food. So when we're talking about trying to cut back on how much processed food we're having, that protein powder would be considered something processed. The other thing about protein powder is that it will have the other nutrients that those protein-rich foods will have, right? So meat will have iron in it as well. But the protein powder just has protein in it. So eggs will also have some of your healthy vitamins and that sort of thing too. So just keep that in mind. If you are choosing a protein powder, make sure it's a whey protein isolate. So look for those words on the bottle, whey protein isolate. Just a quick graph. Some people hate graphs, but yes.
As opposed to what? Whey protein isolate as opposed to what? What are we trying to avoid?
Anything that's not whey protein isolate. So just as long as it says whey protein isolate on the bottle. I don't even use powders. Lynn would know better some of the words that not to get.
Anything that has aspartame in it, don't get it. Anything that has sugar in it, don't get added sugar.
Well, if you say whey protein isolate and have that.
I have, my protein that I have has no sugar added. It's, like gluten-free, all that.
Yep.
Some of them you can get, like, there's brown rice protein powders, there's all sorts of, yeah. So in terms of the type of protein you need, a whey protein isolate, just the derivative where it comes from is the best in terms of recovery.
Okay.
Does that answer you, sort of?
Yeah, but whey comes from dairy.
Yeah, it does.
So for those who don't want the dairy,
Yeah,
whey is a good idea for those people, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So importance of recovering your muscles, we talked about rest, we talked about eating well, we talked about taking protein. So basically your muscles use carbs, which are called glycogens in your muscles. And if you're not recovering with enough carbs at the end of the day, after your workouts or before your workouts, and you're not fueling your body, then you're just going to end up being more depleted and more depleted, so that by the end of the week, you're going to crash and you're not going to be able to get through those workouts just because you're depleted. So it's just basically telling you, make sure you are recovering and getting the carbs, proteins, and the fats. Water, really, really important. We all know water is super important. Some of us don't even know why, but as little as 3% of water loss can actually give you a 30% decrease in your ability to work effectively, which is huge, because 3% loss is not that much. If you've allowed your body to be thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So you should never allow your body to be thirsty. Always, always carry water with you wherever you go. We need water to digest, we need water to deliver nutrients to our bodies, we need it to remove the toxins and the waste. So if you want to remove toxins from your body, make sure you're drinking enough fluids, protects your organs, lubricates our joints, maintains our body temperature, and just helps us to feel alive. So make sure you're drinking enough water. If you have any headaches, mood swings, increased food cravings, those can all be due to dehydration. Sometimes we can be confused, get kidney stones, urinary tract infections, you can even die. You'll die a lot sooner from being dehydrated than you will from not eating. So make sure you're drinking enough. Just a key on hydration. It doesn't just have to be water. So when I tell you you have to drink a minimum of 2.5 liters of fluid a day, it doesn't just have to be water. So things like milk, juice, coffee, tea, sports drinks like Gatorade and Powerade, they do count, but the majority of those 2.5 liters to 3 liters should be water, but those other things don't count. Things that don't count are pop, alcohol, energy drinks. Don't ever drink any energy drinks. Don't ever let me see you bring an energy drink to the gym. I will throw it out. No energy drinks, please. There's up to 14 teaspoons of sugar in some of those energy drinks. Some of them aren't regulated, so you don't even know what's in them. So some of the additives they put in there really can have harmful effects. It gives you a false sense of energy if there's nothing in there that actually gives you good, anything good. So no, like Monster, Red Bull, Rockstar, and especially don't mix it with alcohol. That's even worse. Yes, question?
What's okay, so Gatorade, Powerade?
Yeah, so Gatorade, Powerade are not energy drinks, those are sports drinks. Don't drink Gatorade or Powerade if you're sitting on the couch doing nothing or being very inactive. It's only if it's really, really hot, which unfortunately is not going to be really hot in the next 3 months. But if it's really, really hot, you're doing really high cardio, high intense, then you can do sport drinks. But other than that, don't just drink them for fun at home. Just a note on alcohol, everybody hates me for saying it, but it's true. It does cause dehydration, it doesn't count as fluid, and it also can interfere with the recovery from a workout. So if you're going to work out and then go drink, you're kind of defeating the purpose a little bit. A, you're taking in empty calories, and B, your body's not able to recover and really build up those muscles. So keep that in mind. Drink with caution. Sometimes we think we're hungry, but we're actually thirsty. So don't mistake your thirst for hunger. Yep.
The vitamin waters, you know those ones right now?
So the basic thing with vitamin water is to not take too much. So there is such thing as taking too many vitamins. So if you're drinking, like 6 of those vitamin waters a day, you're probably taking in too much of some of those vitamins, especially the B vitamins. If you take in certain B vitamins too much, you can have things like nerve damage, stuff like that. So there is such thing as too much of vitamins, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the vitamin waters, to be honest, but. So at the end of the day, try to eat whole foods as much as possible. Go back to the basics, whatever you can get on the farm, whatever you can make from scratch. Try to eat whole foods and limit those processed foods. That's what's going to really benefit you and give you healthy life and fuel your workouts. So your vegetables should be what you eat the most of. So you'll notice in a lot of those questions in the little journals, success journals for you guys, I'll always be asking, did I have 5 servings of vegetables every day? Have I had my 5 servings of vegetables? Have I had my 5 greens? Have I had my 5 servings? So try to make sure you're drinking or having your vegetables. So have some fruit. I usually say no more than about 2-3 fruit a day. Protein at each meal. So some kind of protein will help keep you fuller, going longer. Healthy carbs. That's something that we can talk about in our sessions. If you are confused about that, healthy fats. And just a few tips on, because this is a healthy lifestyle, something you want to sustain for life, it's not realistic for you to never eat the things that are bad for you that you do enjoy. So if you love chocolate or cookies, I'm a cookie monster. Anybody who knows me knows that. I have my cookies every now and then, but I just don't let myself have them every day. I don't have them in my house, but when I want one, I have one. Because it's better to just have it than to deprive yourself and then overdo it at the next time you do have it. So allow yourself to have those treats, and often what I say about treats is when you have it, I don't want you to do it when you're watching a movie. I don't want you to do it while you're talking to a friend. I seriously want you to sit at the table and savor the taste of that chocolate bar or those chips or whatever it is you love, and you're going to enjoy every single bite. So that you actually taste it and you actually enjoy it. A lot of times we end up eating less of it when we do it that way, because we've actually sat there and been mindful about it and really enjoyed that treat. And rather than doing it while you're watching your favorite TV show, sometimes you don't even realize how many chips you've eaten because you're not even tasting them, you're just putting them in your mouth while you're watching TV. So try to eat without distractions as much as possible, actually. Become more mindful about it. I do recommend you keep a food journal, at least for a while. It does keep you accountable. There's a lot of online apps you can download or online versions you can do. So lots of people like MyFitnessPal. There's one by the Dietitians of Canada called Eat Tracker. That's another one you can use. Just helps you keep you accountable. Plan your meals ahead of time. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to do it. So if you don't have a plan to eat well, it's just not going to happen. So do plan ahead of time. Yeah.
What do you think about like a cheat day?
A cheat day?
Yeah.
I don't call it cheat. I don't call it cheat days. I call it treats.
Treat day?
Treats. It sounds better.
Day.
Yeah.
Cheat day?
Day? I usually say meal. Treat meal. Treat meal. Because the thing is,
treat night. Do you want to have?
you want to use your treat nights or your treat meals, whatever, wisely.
Okay.
So you might, if you do a treat night every single week, you might be undoing what you did the entire
Well, you
week.
don't go overboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
So, but just choose wisely, because if you are going overboard, you could be undoing kind of what you did for the rest of the week. So it's up to you to kind of. But I'm a big treat meal person, is what I say. Because at the end of the day, if you still ate your vegetables and fruit that day, you're still getting the benefits of those nutrients. It's not like you're not getting them because you're having, whatever, 10 beers or whatever it is, right? You're still getting them, so. Anyways, I'm available also for one-on-one sessions if you find that, you know, maybe you're too embarrassed to ask any questions or to talk about certain topics in a group setting. I can do one-on-one sessions, but that's not included as part of the Get Fit. It would be additional. But I am available for that if you find that would be helpful. Email me, call me, Facebook me if you do have questions. I'll do my best to answer as quickly as possible. But I'm here for you guys, to support you guys with whatever. So, thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Any questions, I guess I should ask? You guys asked some of them along the way.
Actually, yeah, I do have one.
Sure, Tanya. What is it?
So I heard you saying, I was gonna say I overheard, but I didn't. I heard you say that if you have a treat night, you can undo everything that you've done the week.
I mean calorie-wise, not in terms of getting the nutrients you should, but yes, calorie-wise. So say we tell somebody to do 500, we reduce 500 calories a day to lose a pound a week. So say you binge drink in one night, are you undoing those 500 calories for several days? You might.
I actually do. My cousin is Dana, and I know that she and her husband, they do the treat day.
Yep.
And they will buy bags of corn for and stuff like that. I know they do that. So, but you're saying that that's sort of undermine what we're trying to do tonight.
So I'm saying just choose wisely. I mean, we could beat this topic to death, but
I just wanted.
and everybody's different. Like some people are really lucky in that they can eat that kind of stuff and they don't gain weight because they have good genes and they're lucky. But not everybody's that lucky. So, but I do know I have a lot of people coming in my office who they eat really well the entire week. You know, it's like perfect. I couldn't change anything. But every weekend they eat really poorly. And it undoes everything. Like they aren't able to lose weight and they stay where they're at. So that's kind of what I meant. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. As long as you're making sure you're still refueling for that workout so that you're recovering from it, it doesn't really matter when you do it, honestly.
I think if you put the mindset behind it where it has to be a specific day, then you start to resent that day because it's not getting here fast enough. I order pizza whenever the hell I want to order pizza once a week, but it's never one specific day.
It's when you really feel like having that treat is when you should be having it.
You deserve that treat.
Yeah, like if you really, like, I just really want a cookie today. That does so well. Then have your freaking cookie. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just try not to basically try not to have those treats in the house so that they're not readily available for you to have them all the time. You have to go get them. That's kind of my biggest recommendation.